everyone, welcome to the Women Like Us Festival. My name is Arlene. I'm going to run a nice 25-minute yoga session. It should be a lovely one to just kind of relax, unwind from the day. So if you have a yoga mat or a Pilates mat, something like that, you're welcome to grab that now. If you don't, it's fine. You can either just use a blanket or just some place that it's comfortable to lay down. So we'll do a lot of movements on our back or towards the floor. So just check that you have moved away any furniture, which you probably have if you've been doing some of the other sessions, so that you can just move freely, and you're welcome to have your water nearby. Sometimes it's nice also to have some like blankets or towels or cushions, like pillows, to support the body, and or even just to be comfortable if you lie down at all. Okay, great. So just do any of the movements that feel comfortable for you, so it shouldn't be too strenuous. Just think about the edge of where tension arises, so we're just going to stay away from the edge of tension, so just before it. So just bear that in mind throughout the practice. Okay, great. So if you want to come to start by laying down, I like to start yoga lying down because it just gives the body a chance to turn in and assess. So I'll start laying down, but I'm going to talk you through things while I'm seated. Okay, so just lay back. Sometimes it's nice if you have lower back tension, or if you had a busy week, to bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. You might also like to have your legs straight and wherever your arms are comfortable, so out to the side, on your belly. If you have a towel or something, you can place that underneath your knees for a bit of support. Okay, so as you lay back, I'm going to sit up just to talk to you, but just find that comfortable position, laying down, legs straight, knees bent, and just make those little positions. Do you like your arms out to the side? Maybe you'd like to rest one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart. Good, and I like to start with a little breath awareness and sensing the body, because this is a great way, if flexibility is a goal, to find through a relaxed state that the muscles will turn off and encourage flexibility. But okay, so just make those adjustments, feel at ease. You're welcome to put a little pillow underneath your head, and we'll just start through a little body scan. So just notice how you feel today. Do you feel any tension at all in your feet, your legs, your knees, your thighs, your bottom? Do you feel any differences in your right foot to your left foot? So just notice your legs, but come to sense the ground below you. And with each breath, with each exhalation, let your legs and your feet feel heavy so they can relax. And now noticing your fingers, your wrists, your elbows. So how do your hands and your arms feel? Do you feel any tension in your fingers or your arms, or any differences in your right arm or hand to the left? So just notice this, not bringing judgment to why it might be, but let your arms feel heavy so they can relax and let go of any tension. The ground supports you, so you can let go. Now coming to scan upwards and notice your back, your stomach, your chest and shoulders. Notice the muscles of your face. Do you feel any tension in your shoulders, in your neck, your jaw, your cheeks? Do your eyes feel active? Is there any tension in your forehead? Just come to notice with each exhalation how you can let go, relaxing your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your cheeks and eyes. And just in its natural state, feel the flow of your breath, the rise and fall. Not bringing effort to your breath, let it feel relaxed. But you might start to notice the breath rising lower near your navel, and feeling the breath creates openness in your chest. And when you exhale, notice the point where you touch the ground so you can soften and relax into the mat. Okay. Just observe your body as a whole, and through the breath, letting it relax, we can feel perhaps our heart rate decrease and slow down. These help to initiate a relaxation response in the body. So just let your breath feel long and relaxed. Sometimes it's nice to feel the breath rise from your navel as you inhale up to your heart. When you exhale, you can feel almost like a pathway. The breath relaxes from heart to navel. So throughout the practice today, just connect with your breath, let it feel relaxed and long, and you might think about that connection of inhaling from heart, from navel to heart, and exhaling from heart to navel. Okay, so very slowly now we'll just gently bring movement back to the body. So you just do that at your own pace. You might wiggle your fingers and toes or turn your head side to side. Good. And when it's comfortable, just bend your knees and place your feet on the floor. Good. And just check in so you can adjust how close your feet are to your bottom. If you feel any tension on your tailbone or your hips, you can place a little cushion or a folded up towel there. So just play with the placement of your feet so you feel comfortable and relaxed. Notice if it feels like you're in alignment, so you can make those adjustments. If it feels like one hip is higher or feels differently, it's just so it feels like either side of your spine is the same, symmetrical. Good. Then I'll start to lift one foot away from the floor. So I'm going to lift my right foot and hold my shin or the back of your thigh, see what feels comfortable, and then start to make a little rotation of your thigh in the hip socket. So we can do that in either direction. So you can rotate outward and rotate inward, and it doesn't have to be a big movement, but it can be a large rotation if that feels comfortable for you. So just support your leg wherever that feels nice, and just play with that. How does that feel? You can even notice as you move your thigh in the hip socket how you connect to the ground. So maybe you can feel a little massage or movement through your lower back or your hips. Okay, great. And then we'll do this on the other side. So place your right foot on the floor, place that foot on the floor, and then lift the other leg. And just support again, start to bring that movement circling. And how does it feel on this side? Does it feel different? Does it feel like you're kind of holding and gripping? And can you relax your shoulders evenly into the mat? You can think about the shape of the circle on the side. Is it similar in range to the other? You can go fast or slow for that circling. So through this, you can feel just a little bit of release in our hip space. Okay, awesome. And then from here, you can just take a nice full body stretch. So lengthen your arms overhead, reach your toes away from you. Good. And then flex your feet so you can feel your heels lengthen away and your arms reach overhead. And just breathe here. It's almost like you're trying to touch the wall near your fingers, and your heels almost try to reach and lengthen away from you. You can feel how that elongates the spine and your side body. Good. And then as you exhale, just bend one knee and bring it towards your chest. If this is uncomfortable on the other leg, you can bend that knee and place your foot on the floor. Good. So just notice how that feels, bringing your thigh towards your chest, towards your stomach, and you can fold wherever that's comfortable, your shin or your back of your thigh. If you want more, you can lift your forehead up towards your knee. So see how that feels? Lovely. Relax through your touching points. Notice the ground just as a supportive presence, and then we'll release our leg, another full body stretch. And just check in. You can either do this with toes pointed or flexing your feet, so just see which one you prefer, what feels nice. Good, and then we'll do the other leg. So as you exhale, other leg, bends your knee, bring your thigh towards your stomach. The opposite leg can either be straight or knee bent. Checking with how that feels. Option to, if you want more, to lift your chest towards your leg. Good, and then we'll take another full body stretch. Exhale both knees to your chest, hold your shins, little massage here. So you might start to, for your back, so you can start to make circles on the ceiling with your knees or reverse. See how that feels. You can rock side to side. And then when you're ready, you can either roll to one side and push yourself up, or you can just keep your knees bent and rock up from here. And we'll come to all fours on hands and knees. Good. From the all fours position, think about your hands about the width of your shoulders. So your wrists are directly under your shoulders. Your knees about the width of your hips. So sometimes there's about 2 fists between them. Good. You can see that nice alignment. Okay, so just make adjustments comfortable. You can roll up your mat if you do feel any tension, if it's difficult or uncomfortable to have your wrists flex. You can roll up your mat as much as you're comfortable, or use a towel that's rolled up there. Okay, so from here, you just very slowly relax your hips over to the right side. And then you can look over your shoulder. So if you were looking from above, this would create like a C arch in your spine. It's almost like your left rib cage is relaxing to the left side. Good, and then we'll come back to center and just do the other side. So hips over to the left, and then look over your left shoulder so we can really nicely relax through that right rib cage. And create a nice little side bend for the spine. Good, and then we'll come back up to center. Okay, so
So next, if you bring your right forearm down to the floor, so my left arm is staying straight, right forearm comes down. Good, and then turn your head to look towards the left side. So you might feel that create a little rotation from your tailbone up through your mid-back, all the way up to your shoulder blades in your neck. Good, and then we'll come to do the other side. So both arms straight, this time right arm stays long, left elbow bends, bring left forearm to the floor, and turn your head to the right. So we're looking away from the forearm on the ground. Just notice how that feels, that little rotation. Good, through your lower back, mid-back, all the way up to the back of your neck. Let your jaw feel relaxed. Good, and then we'll come back up to all fours. Okay, so next we're going to bring our right foot forward between our hands. So it's closer, my right foot's closer to my right hand. If this feels a bit intense, you might shorten the space between your knee and your right foot. So your feet are hip width apart, but they're just coming closer if that's more comfortable. So just wherever that feels nice for you. And we're going to very slowly start to lift our chest away from the floor. You can place your hand on your thigh here, or if you have any kind of yoga bricks or things like that, you can place your hands on them. Okay, so we're just lifting our chest away from the floor. So just lift as much as feels comfortable there. Again, let your knee feel comfortable, so you can put padding under there, cushions. If you want more, you can start to lift your chest upwards. And if you want more from there, you can start to bring your arms up overhead. Okay, so just see how that feels. If it's comfortable, just bring your arms away from the thigh. And again, if it does feel like you're gonna, kind of feels wobbly, you can widen your feet side to side. So I open my right leg a little bit further up to the right side, so you have a wider base there. Okay, so with your right foot forward, arms up overhead, if that's comfortable. Good. And then we're going to bend the right elbow and you're going to bend the left elbow and place your left hand between your shoulder blades, and then hold onto your left elbow with your hands. So just to give you a sense of what I'm doing, it's like that. Okay. And then from here, hips are evenly facing forward, and then take a little side bend to the right. So we're holding our left elbow, side bending to the right. And you might feel that create a little bit of a stretch feeling sensation along the left hip in your rib cage. Okay, and then when you're ready, very slowly come back up to center. Good, and then relax down and back to all fours. Good, so I'll do the next one facing you so you get a little different perspective. Good, so next we're going to bring the left foot forward between your hands. Good, notice how that feels. Again, little adjustments, cushions underneath your right knee, and when it's comfortable, you can start to lift your chest away from the floor. If that's unstable, maybe you can open your leg out to the side a bit more. Good. And if it's comfortable, hips are evenly facing forward. If it's comfortable, we'll bring our arms up overhead. Good. And then if you bend your right elbow, place your hand between your shoulder blades, hold onto that elbow, and then we'll take a side bend over to the left side. So you can feel, create a nice length along your right hip, your rib cage, little side bend here. Again, just do that at your own pace. You can adjust that foot out to the side if that's more comfortable and stable. Good. Come out and don't hold it if that's uncomfortable. Come out when it feels right. Okay, so we'll come back up to center, move your arms out to the side, and then we'll come back to all fours on hands and knees. Okay, so from all fours, just notice how your body feels. Again, that nice alignment. And then we're going to bring one arm up to the side. So I'm going to start with my left just because I've turned in this direction. But bring one arm out to the side, rotate, lift your fingers away from you, and almost like you're trying to reach your fingers towards the wall or the ceiling. Just do that rotation as much as feels comfortable. Notice how that opens the chest space, and then we'll lower that arm, and you can slide your fingertips between the hand on the floor and your knee. And stay there if that's comfortable. Breathe into your shoulder blades. If you want to come into it deeper, you can bend the elbow on the floor and rest the side of your head on the ground. You can do that with some cushions or blocks here underneath your head. But just stay there for a breath or two and breathe here into that space between your shoulder blades, almost like your breath inflates your shoulder blades. You can relax the side of your neck and your jaw. Good. And then we'll slowly uncurl and come back up to all fours. And just notice how that side of the body feels compared to the other. Good, so we'll do the other side when you're ready. So reach the other arm out to the side in a half T. Good, gently rotate with your chest open. Good, notice how that feels. And as you exhale, lower your hand. You can slide your hand between your hand on the other one on the ground and the knee. And maybe you start to bring your forehead down towards the floor. You can stay there and breathe into that space between your shoulder blades. Okay, just let go of any tension. Almost like your shoulder blades are like a balloon and your breath inflates that slowly. Good. And then we'll slowly uncurl. Come back up to all fours on hands and knees. Good. Next we'll come to child's pose. So from all fours, just very slowly bring your bottom to your heels. If it's more comfortable, you can widen the space between your knees out to the side, and that's really good if you have any tension in your lower back. And then very slowly start to bring your upper body down. So you might rest there on your forearms. You can rest your chin on your fists. If it's comfortable, you can come to rest your forehead on the ground. You can use cushions or blocks again here, or folded up blankets. Let your shoulders feel comfortable. So sometimes this is nice to rest with your forearms on the ground, or you might even start to reach your fingers towards the front of the mat if you want that additional kind of stretch along your side body. You can even bring your arms wider so they're out in a V shape if that's more comfortable for your shoulders. From this position, it's a really nice time to let go, to relax, and as you let your body kind of feel more relaxed by tapping into that long flow of breath, it helps to release any tension in your hips, your lower back, your bottom. This might feel quite nice, or just a nice way to release. Good. So when you're ready, very slowly we'll come out of this position. So walk your hands underneath your shoulders, slowly push up. Come back to all fours on hands and knees. Good. So from here, if you tuck your toes under, bring your bottom to your heels, we're going to come up to a downward facing dog. Good. So imagine your hands are kind of softening into warm sand, and just relax into the earth. And imagine there's a string on your tailbone, and as you exhale, that string just slowly starts to lift your tailbone up. So sometimes this position can feel quite awkward if it's one that you've not practiced many times, but once you start to get into it, it can feel really lovely. So you can keep your knees bent here as I have, but imagine your tailbone is almost like has that string still on it, and it's just slowly drawn towards that wall behind you. And you can notice my arms are near my ears, so I find that by shifting way back towards my feet. Good. Sometimes I'm quite short, so this is comfortable for me, but if you have longer limbs, you might prefer to do this with your heels lifted and have that bend of knees, so you're more on the balls of your feet. Good, but just notice, so it doesn't have to be quite, precise in this upside down V position. Just make that serve you so that you can find the benefits of that long spine. So ideally this is lengthening your tailbone so you can feel more space in your vertebrae in your head and just relaxing forward. Good. So just make that your own. If this is uncomfortable, you can come back to the child's pose. So stay here if that feels nice, just to show you. Child's pose accomplishes that same length of your spine, but in a more relaxed way. So just choose the one that feels nice. Okay. So one more breath here in down dog or child's pose. And when you're ready, come back up through all fours. And if you're in down dog, you can just walk your feet forward, and we'll come to a forward folded position. Okay. So from forward fold, you might like to have your knees bent and rest your forearms on your thighs like this, so you can have that long spine. So there's a connection from tailbone to the top of your head. But you might feel like it's nice to have a little bit of straighter legs and rest your hands anywhere on your legs that feels comfortable. Again, thinking about that long spine. So knees bent as much as feels comfortable here. And if it's nice, you can even bring your fingertips to the floor. If this is really comfortable and you want to come into it deeper, you can either place the backs of your hands on the floor so you're resting your feet on top of the palms, or you can bring your forearms behind your calf muscles, just wherever that feels nice for you today. Okay, so just come into that space that feels nice. You might turn your head side to side to relax out any tension in your shoulders. Good. And then when you're ready, just a little bend in your knees, and you can start to uncurl your spine up to standing. So you draw your navel inward. Slowly start to unfold your spine, coming up to stand. Good, really nice. Okay, so we're going to practice a little balance next. So you're welcome to come off mat if you're using it. If you're using a towel, it might feel more secure to stand off of your blanket or towel on the floor itself. Okay, just see what feels right for you. I'll come into stand in mountain pose. So that's with our feet together and heels slightly apart. You can have it wider if that feels more comfortable. Just see what feels nice. Okay, so imagine your feet are in that sand again, kind of wet sand, like someone's buried your feet, and so they're not going to move. But imagine now though you're trying to draw your heels towards each other. So feet are stationary, but heels start to draw towards each other. So just checking with how that feels. Okay, so we're going to transition next to that hip width stance. So think about where your hip bones are, where your thighs meet kind of insert into the sockets, and step your feet wider. So perhaps the sides of your feet are parallel. You might have a little natural turnout if that's more comfortable. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so imagine again, someone's buried your feet, they're not moving, and your heels start to draw towards each other, almost like engaging about 30%. So you can feel that activate kind of your bottom and your inner thighs. So stay there if that's comfortable, engaging your inner thighs. And then start to turn the palms of your hands forwards. Your arms are just by the sides here, your thighs, your palms turn forward. And just notice how that kind of changes your stature, how you stand, and even starts to, with that palm turning forward, it starts to change your chest space and your collarbones. And if it's comfortable, start to turn further forward, your palms away from you, so it's like your little fingers are towards the front perhaps, and your thumbs are behind, just if that's comfortable. Good. And then when you're ready, come to relax and give everything a little shake if that's a good place. Okay, so now back to our balance. Feet together. Notice your hips are kind of level, so it's not like one's harder than the other. And then we're going to shift the weight over to one leg. So I'm going to shift the weight over to my right leg. So shift the weight back to the side, keeping hips level. Bend your knee. Notice how that feels. Good. And then if it's comfortable, you can have your hands on your hips and lift your toes off the floor. You can bring them down again at any time. If you want more, you can imagine your knee has a string, and someone draws that string up so your knee lifts up. Good. See how that feels. So hands can stay here. If you want more from there, you can rotate from your waist. And just check in. You might bring your arms out into a T, like this, either facing forward or rotating to face behind. Just notice how that feels. Little rotation. Good. And we'll slowly come back forward. And then just at your own pace, relax your arms, your legs, and you can give everything a little shake. Okay, so we'll do that balance with optional rotation on the other side. So hips stay level, shift the weight over to the left. So it's like that leg comes to the center of your body. Other knee bends, right knee bends. You might just lift your toes off the floor. If you want more, that string drawing it upward. Just do this at your own pace. So if you'd like to, either hands will stay on your hips, optional rotation, or you might open your arms into that T, palms facing forward if that's comfortable, and then rotating. And imagine your fingers and toes are reaching in opposite direction. Good. One more breath here. Good for the next. And then when you're ready, slowly rotate forward. Good. And we'll bring our arms down and give everything a little shake. Okay, so if you open your legs into a straddle position, turn your toes out to the side. Good. You can place your hands together, touching in front of your heart space, and just feel your shoulders are above your hips. So imagine now that the breath is rising from your navel to your heart, like we optionally practice at the beginning. And then as you exhale, relaxing the breath from your heart to the navel. Just another breath there. Lovely. And then when you're ready, start to bend your knees and just come to a little squat position. So stop wherever that's comfortable, and you can make little adjustments to the placement of your heels so it feels like a comfortable tracking of your knees, approximately to the middle of your foot. So if it's comfortable, you can come all the way down so your elbows are inside of your knees. It's fine for your heels to lift, just whatever feels nice for your ankles. And you can even put little rolled up towels underneath your heels if that feels more comfortable. So just check in with how that feels. Good. Lovely. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to the floor, and we'll come back to all fours on hands and knees. Good. So from here, we're going to lift one knee off the floor and just start to make circles, like you're trying to draw circles on the floor with your knee. So you can do that in as fast or slow as feels comfortable in either direction. Again, you can support your wrists. You can even make fists if that's more comfortable. You do have any tension in your wrists here. Good. If it's really comfortable, you can even open your knee out to the side and extend your leg behind you. Good. And again, do that in either direction. Lovely. Okay. So next we're going to come to a position called Pigeon. So from all fours, if you bring your right knee onto the floor behind your right wrist, then bring your heel so it's underneath your groin approximately. If you want more, you can flex your toes of your right foot and start to draw your toes towards your left wrist. So just see anywhere in that range that feels comfortable. Good. And then think about bringing your left knee straight behind your shoulder, and you can start to rest your left knee on the floor. If you have like cushions, you can place them underneath your right hip here for support. So stay here if that's comfortable. If you'd like to, you can start to bring your upper body towards the floor. So just come very slowly to bring your upper body downwards. You can rest your chin on your fists. You might, if it's comfortable, bring your forehead towards the ground, or you can again support with one or two fists under your forehead. And just let that feel comfortable. If you do feel tension on the knee that's on the ground, just rotate your thighs so your knee's kind of turned away from your body to rest. So make it as comfortable as possible. So if this feels really uncomfortable, adjust and come out of it so it serves you, okay? So another round of breath here. Over. And when you're ready, very slowly walk your hands back underneath your shoulders, gently push yourself up. We'll come back up to all fours on hands and knees. Okay, so here you can just rock your hips side to side a little bit, rock forwards and backwards a little bit just to relax the lower back. You can do that with a larger range of motion if that feels comfortable for you. And if you like circling, you can circle your body in either direction. Okay, lovely. So we'll set up for our pigeon pose on the other side. Good. So bring your left knee away from the floor. The other one will do a little circling. Imagine you're drawing circles on the floor. And again, you can make that larger by extending your leg and opening your knee up to the side. Good. Or just notice if the range is different on this side. Okay, lovely. And after a few rotations of our thigh and the hip socket, we'll start to bring our left knee onto the floor behind our left wrist. Heel comes under the groin, or you can flex your foot and start to slide your toes in the direction of your right wrist. You don't have to come all, just wherever that's comfortable. And then when you're ready, you can start to lengthen your back leg, your right leg further behind you. If that's uncomfortable, you can rotate from your thigh to bring your knee out to the side, and maybe you can place some cushions or blocks here underneath your left hip. And very slowly, so just do it at your own pace. Start to bring your upper body down. Rest wherever that's comfortable. Breathe here into your lower back. And just think about that connection again from tailbone to the top of your head, so that your hips kind of feel level, so your spine feels level. And just start to see where that creates release, perhaps through your lower back or your hips, your bottom. Good. So no rush, but when you're ready, we'll start to walk our hands back underneath our shoulders. Gently push up. Good. And we'll come to sit in a straddle position for a moment. So open your legs wide, have your shoulders over your hips. Breathe here. And as you exhale, you can just very slowly start to hinge forward, bringing your breastbone towards the floor. You can turn your head side to side here a little bit. And maybe bring your chin to chest neck, so kind of turning your head up and down. You can do this with bent knees. You can hold onto your toes. You can rest your hands in front of you, just wherever that feels comfortable. Maintain that long spine. Good. And then when you're ready, very slowly walk your hands back. Good. And bring your knees bent. Just relax your hands by the side and just kind of windshield wipe your knees. So your hands are behind you and just kind of rocking your knees side to side to relax out any tension here in your lower back or hips. Okay, great. So if you would like to, you can come to rest on your back again and just come to sense your body, your breath. But I'll leave you here now. Hope you've enjoyed today, and thank you for practicing with me. Yoga, I wish you peace.